All right. I'm back for day 2 of my spooky season reviews, and I'm going to be talking about R.L. Stine's Fear Street. So Fear Street is the series of novels that was written and created for young adults and teenagers, and it was supposed to be what Goosebumps was for your younger kids up to your preteens. Now, I will say this, the book series are completely independent of each other, and I'm not aware of any references between the two. With that being said, the content of the Fear Street novels is a lot darker, a lot more mature, involves more sexual content, and has a higher, much higher rate of violence and gore, which I personally liked. Now, the first book that I ever picked up in the series was actually Cheerleaders, which you can see I have on the wall back there. And at 9 years old, I had absolutely no business reading this, but I really enjoyed the series, so I went on to finish the other 3 books in the Cheerleader spinoff, and then as well as the Super Chillers that came out later on. So, to describe the novels, you can say that they are predicated around a place in Ohio called Shadyside, and more importantly, a street called Fear Street, which was previously owned by a well-to-do family that just had an insane amount of bad luck, driven by magic and some bad historical choices. With that being said, the series follows the students of Shadyside as they encounter different evils, killers, monsters, basically anything you can think of. Initially, the series was supposed to be an anthology, but as you start reading the series, you'll start to notice that the tie-ins from other characters become fewer and farther in between, and each series and each book then begins to start acting like its own individual text, and it just so happens to be in the same place. There are different spin-off series that take place in other locations, such as New England and New Orleans, and they all come together to kind of create the chaos that occurs in Shadyside. So all of the kids and students in this novels, they suffer greatly. Like, there is not one week that somebody doesn't get murdered in this town, or like one of the students dies. And it's really good series if you like that. I will say though, as you start reading the books, like, the relationships between the characters is quite obvious, and then towards the end it devolves. I will also say that initially the gore in the earlier books is a lot less than the gore in the later books. There are instances, especially in the Fear Street series or the Cheerleader series, where you have a girl who gets scalded to death, and then her sister ends up dating her boyfriend after she dies, and then the boyfriend gets chopped up by a wood chipper. Like, it is really graphic and gruesome content. And another part of the series, somebody gets burned at the stake, and then they get chopped up, and then they marry this weird ass plantation owner, and he turns out to be evil and cuts up body parts. Like, it is a wild ride from like start to end. And like I said, as the series progresses, it gets like exponentially more untamed in each novel. But let me know if you have read about this. I plan on doing reviews on the different books in the series as well as the spin-offs. If you have heard about this series before, or if you have a favorite novel, please drop it in the comments below. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3.